The Po' Boy Pundits podcast is brought to you by The Goddamn Sauce. Go to thegdsauce.com for details to order all the sauces to replace your ordinary condiments. Pulpery Media presents Po' Boy Pundits with your hosts, Brock and Ben. This is where we discuss the political headlines that grab our attention and all those little jerks that infuriate us.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
2 weeks. And boy, oh boy, it is just so much fun already. And he's not even running shit yet.
No, but he's in charge of the news cycle again.
Imagine
Fantastic.
That. Great. I would so much rather talk about other shit in politics than, him.
Well, I mean, from an outside perspective, at least so far, it's looking like he's a little savvier than the first go around.
Absolutely.
So he gave everybody a week to just demolish the Democrats.
Yeah.
Like just rip them apart. And then after that, it was like, oh, now I'm just going to start dropping names on y'all.
Yep. And you know what? Because everybody was like, man, he has been so quiet since he won the election. Like, he should be out there freaking out. I think he was enjoying watching the world burn.
Yeah.
And he didn't really need to do anything.
Of course.
Except sit around a table with, think tank style.
Yeah, well, and you do think about it. He had to have meetings with all those people and say, hey, this is where I want you to be. And then they go, yes, right. Of course, my master,
exactly.
My lord.
He's like Palpatine. I hate it. I really hate him. Jedi. He is fucking Palpatine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somebody needs to find Luke.
Wait, he's not. If we're going by that timeline, he's not. Luke's not born yet.
I know. Somebody, anybody.
But and like the first round dropped so fast.
Yeah, and I think it was.
Well, first it was like governors. It was like Kristi Noem.
Right.
Here,
I've got a list here.
The non-Washington players again, like you knew Tulsi Gabbard, or they said Tulsi Gabbard's going to get a position.
Oh wait, she does.
Yeah, she's the DNI.
Susie Wiles, I know nothing about that. That's chief of staff. We talked about her last week. Marco Rubio. You said that. Is that the drop of? Here's somebody, even though...
Right, so by the time I heard Marco Rubio, and I was like hyper-focused on that, of like, good God, we're sending this guy to speak with foreign countries?
Yep.
Who's got, gigantic ears and has a slight lisp. And, but by the time I realized what was going on, that was when they dropped Matt Gaetz already.
Right, yeah.
And of course, then everybody was like, now you hear Matt Gaetz and you're like, well, Marco Rubio's a fairly
he's
safe
the
pick.
adult in the room because everybody right. Exactly.
I mean, we've all been there. You think somebody's going to be the adult, and then they're the ones, taking their pants off.
Yeah, no.
Putting their dick in shit.
That's
like,
Gaetz. Apparently, he has videos that he was showing on the fucking house floor.
Yeah.
Fucking douchebag.
Trying to show people like, hey.
You know what he is? He's the douche college bro who harassed the nerds in Revenge of the Nerds.
Yeah.
That's
or, or he's that dude who's, I mean, what is he now? He's late 30s?
He's not 40 yet?
I mean...
I can't tell.
Yeah.
You could probably measure his age by his forehead, like a tree.
He's got a 10-finger forehead.
Yeah. There you go. Oh. Hey,
but
man.
he's that dude you run into at a party and they're bragging about how many chicks they fucked that night, and you're going like, what?
All right, cool, bro.
Yeah, like, aren't we past that in our lives?
Or he's the douche. He's like, man, you want to do some coke in the bathroom?
Right. Well, that was going to be my other thing. Well, both. Like,
and everybody was kind of like, I don't know, man. Does that mean I got to hang out with you?
Yeah. And you're going like, I thought I got past that.
Like, yeah, like Connor in the corner over here has some, and I don't have to hang out with him.
If you want to do it for free, you got to hear about the chicks I banged.
Right. You know what?
No.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Except his was Viagra and energy drinks.
Yeah.
With Coke on the side.
So he could go all night. Oh, those
gross.
poor women.
So Tom Homan. I need a shower now. After talking about it. Tom Homan is the border czar.
Yeah.
He has said some terrible shit.
Let's send a racist person down there. That'll fix it.
That'll fix everything.
Well, at least on the backhanded side, he's already, with that nomination and his early rhetoric, the president of Mexico has effectively cut off the border and and we'll send the 2 million people back. That have.
So then, what are you going to put them in fucking cages too? Now, what are you going to do? What was the other one that was terrible? Hegseth?
Yeah.
The defense secretary who has
no experience.
And Nazi tattoos on him?
Yeah. So and that was the one
he really does have Nazi tattoos.
Yeah. But hidden somewhere so it's not in
one's here.
But
and one's across somewhere on his, I don't know.
I can't remember if we put that on air when we were going over his bio, because I think he was announced when we recorded our last Tuesday. But his experience is in the Army National Guard.
Correct.
So he has he's not a commissioned officer.
No, and he's never run a business. He's never run an organization. He's never run a huge, much less a huge organization. He hasn't done anything.
Right. And yet he's going to be the one that is supposed to relate to our Joint Chiefs and other commanding officers.
Correct. Of
what the president's policy is, which is if you don't, and I'm not saying you always have to have a military man. I mean, Lloyd Austin is not a common appointment as Secretary of Defense, but you usually want somebody who can speak bureaucratic language.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You were the head. There's no one above
military, you. Yeah, not just military speak, but bureaucratic.
Yes.
Knowing flow chart, management flow charts and shit like that.
No, none of that.
Yeah.
None of that. And they're going to cut everybody who does know that.
Yeah.
What's another? Christy Nome. What did I say that cunt was? Can't find her now. There it is. Homeland Security.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Which is so she. I mean that oversees ICE.
The other two shit stains.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, all right. She works.
You know what? We need a flow chart for this now.
She works in conjunction with
ICE.
No. Homeland Security oversees ICE. So same as the Director of National Intelligence now oversees the CIA, NSA, the intelligence.
By the way, John Ratcliffe is the name for the CIA.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But he'll be reporting to Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah. See, I just threw up in my mouth.
And he doesn't make sense to me because he's talking about how he's going to use the CIA to do all these different things. And you say the CIA is not an enforcement agency of any kind.
No.
It's an intelligence gathering.
Correct.
And then it reports to other entities.
Saying that probably like the whatever they called it, the Secretary of Defense.
Yeah, so
those people get what the CIA put together, intelligence, and then those briefings get
correct.
Brought.
Yeah, because it's not how movies portray it, where we have all these.
It's a bunch of nerds sifting through data.
And it's not, I mean, it's more of the Alec Baldwin, Jack Ryan, than the Harrison Ford.
No,
or
even the paper pushers.
Krasinski one. But, and then they collect evidence, and then they report it. If it's international, you report it back to the military.
Right.
And you either send in, like, SEAL Team 6 or an Army Ranger crew, and they will handle it.
They will take care of whatever that...
Yeah. Unless it's a clandestine operation in which you're trying to manipulate an election or whatever, but that can be done by nerds anywhere around the world.
Yes.
Or if it's a domestic issue that they find out abroad, then that gets reported to the FBI, and then the FBI handles that.
Because again, federal.
Right.
Fucking douchebags.
And but they don't perform any like any actual, like we don't send in
agents. What are you going to get them to do?
to
Investigate everybody? Cool.
Yeah.
They're not going to find anything, but have at it.
Right, and it's an international investigative.
Right.
Like if the domestic is NSA.
Right.
So if you're actually going to go after political enemies here in the United
you got to
States,
use the NSA.
correct.
Yeah. Idiots.
All you got to do is watch Sneakers from way back in the day.
Oh, that's a great one.
Yeah, that's a movie that should be remade, by the way. But
that's neither here nor there.
That's a later discussion.
We would rather remake Goonies, which would ruin that. All right, last one. I mean, there's a bunch of them, but I want to talk about Mike Huckabee being the ambassador to Israel.
Right, which shouldn't be a newsworthy appointment. I'm sorry,
He's
it
from
just shouldn't.
Arkansas.
Yeah,
Have you seen his daughter? She's fucking crazy. And he raised her.
Correct.
He is terrible.
But also the thinking of, and I think he's a Baptist minister,
yes,
right?
Yeah.
So Trump's idea here is, you know what's going to help us with this Israel-Hamas, Hezbollah, Gaza problem? Let's throw a Baptist minister in the
from
mix.
the deep south. Yep, that'll do it.
Who plays a shitty bass guitar.
Oh God! Why would yes?
Did you forget about when he had fucking what's his name on? Ted Nugent playing Cat Scratch Fever on his fucking Fox show. That man is now going to represent the United States to all of Israel.
And what is Israel in right now? War. They're under wartime rule.
Correct. Yeah.
And this redneck's going to go over there and talk to him.
Well, I mean, yeah, so this would go to my point of all those people who did not vote for Kamala because of her stance on Gaza. Are you happy now with these picks? Because
Trump has already said he would let Bibi do whatever he wants to finish the job.
Same as Putin to finish the job in Ukraine. So is that non-vote really going to work out for your international political
or the Jill
stance?
Stein vote?
Right.
Yeah.
Which, and again, I might seem burnout and jaded, but I remember. That's why people voted for Nader over Gore, and back then, I could see it, but now you look back on it and go in
you fucking morons.
Where did that get you?
Nowhere.
Does anybody get your point now of you know what, you were right?
Well, I'm not going to. Mike Huckabee's terrible. Here's what I say: the people who abstained from voting, bitching to us that voted.
Yeah.
How could you vote for blah blah blah? How could you vote for that? Bitch, you didn't vote. Shut the fuck up. You get no say in this. Fuck this. What is that? Protest votes? Get the fuck out of here.
Well, again, I would prefer you do that. I prefer you go in and do all the down ballot measures you want, and do a write-in candidate. Or if they don't allow that,
you're there voting.
Just don't hit one of the presidential people. Or fucking throw it Jill Stein's way. I don't give a shit, but.
Don't abstain from voting and then get on your fucking soapbox.
And I will say this is that, I've seen it a lot more in recent years, and in part too because I've spread it around a bunch, drunk around Election Day of the George Carlin no voting bit.
Yeah.
But people focus on that when he's like, I stay home, I don't vote. But they forget the crux of his whole bit in that, which is. The American public fucking sucks because that's where these people come from.
Right.
And that's who elects these people.
Which is what just happened.
Which is, essentially, he's saying, have higher standards for your politicians, and then that would get him...
Then I will vote.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which we've just played into George Carlin's bit from, when was that? 1996.
Well, it wasn't earlier than that?
It was when Clinton was reelected. The following segment has been brought to you by The Goddamn Sauce. Go to thegdsauce.com for details to order all the sauces to replace your ordinary condiments. The Po' Boy Podcast is a production of Pulpery Media, produced and edited by Ben Grimion, marketing by Brock Ryder, graphic design by Beck Ryder and Ben Grimion, Music by the Heisenberg Compensators.